You may be enjoying the warmer weather, but are your eyes loving it? Itchy, watery, red, swollen eyes are a sure sign of one thing. It is springtime. But for the 22 million people who suffer from these allergy symptoms, there is hope. Dr. Kimberly Friedman, an optometric physician, is here to show you how you can relieve those irritating eye allergies. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Glad you're here. Tell us what causes eye allergies. I can often sense right now, even when I'm a little congested, because I have the nasal allergies from allergy season. But what are the eye allergies exactly?
Right. Well, the eye allergies and the nasal allergies, the coughing, the congestion, they basically all work from the same process. Essentially, the body is exposed to some type of allergen. This type of year, it's usually pollen from the trees and the grasses that are blooming. And our body kind of overreacts to that allergen. It senses that it's in some type of danger and sends a flood of immune system cells to fight that. And that overreaction causes all of our allergy symptoms.
Can you have eye allergies without the nasal congestion, or can you have nasal congestion without the eye allergies?
Absolutely. You can get either just eyes, the combination of eyes with the nasal congestion, or just the nasal congestion.
So you can have one or the other.
Right.
For people who wear glasses, they can obviously take the glasses off and rub their eyes or whatever. But is it worse for, if you're, say, for one of the many people watching us now that wear contacts?
Right. It can be a little worse for two reasons. Whatever that allergen is can become embedded in the contact lens, and then you become kind of doubly exposed. The initial exposure and then the repeated exposure on the contact lens. The second reason why it gets a little worse is that the eyelid is very irritated, and so you're rubbing the eyelid against this contact lens in the eye, so the symptoms are a little worse.
Okay, what's the treatment that you can show some of our viewers?
Well, there's different levels of treatment. If you have the full symptoms with the congestion, the sneezing, the irritation, very often you'll use oral medications. But actually for the eye, the oral medications can make the symptoms a little worse because
they rebound.
Right, it dries out the eyes a little bit, and then the non-prescription drops cause a rebound effect, where actually when the drop wears off, the eyes rebound back redder and more irritated than you started.
Okay, we're showing our viewers now some of the ways that you can relieve your eyes from allergies, and some of them seem to make sense. Avoid morning walks, early morning hours.
Right, anything in the early morning, the pollen count's higher.
So you got to wait till the midday when the pollen sort of burns off with the sun.
Right, right.
Use an air purifier. Does that really work in terms of removing the pollen in the air?
Right. The air purifiers or the better quality filters in your heating and air conditioning system can help remove some of the allergens.
You talked about eye drops and oral medications, but you have to be careful which ones you buy.
Right. Generally, the prescription medications have a longer acting effect and don't have that rebound effect. So very often the prescription medications are the way to go.
Because they're specific to the condition.
Right, exactly.
All right. One thing that you talked about is run the air conditioner, which we've heard a lot, but in this time with our energy bills going up through the roof, is that still a good idea to consider?
Right. It's a delicate balancing act, because basically you want to try to avoid the allergen as much as possible, although sometimes that's easier said than done. The air conditioner can help, but you're probably still going to be exposed at some level, and that's when we need to turn to the medications.
Don't rub your eyes even though it feels good to do so.
That causes more histamine to be released by those immune cells and causes the reaction to actually be worse, so keep your hands away.
But so when you're rubbing your eye, you're actually releasing what?
Right, the white blood cells that come to fight the allergen release more of those chemicals that start the whole red, itchy, watery eye syndrome when you rub them. So you have to keep those hands away and keep those cells from accumulating and causing the histamine release.
Now the cold compress, can you wear those? Should you use those in the morning or in the evening?
Whenever it feels right to you. The cold compresses help relieve the symptoms just like the allergy drops do, and you can do that on an as-needed basis.
Okay. Contact an eye care professional, which seems odd because you may be one of the people that don't wear glasses, don't wear contacts, but you still have the eye allergies?
Right. There are a lot of different prescription eye allergy drops, and they work different ways. So an optometric physician can evaluate which one is best for you and will give you the best long-lasting relief.
These are products you bought at the store. I mean, most of them are you would buy anywhere. Are these a good idea to consider, or would you again suggest that people go to get a prescription medication?
The over-the-counter medications are great for short-term relief. Although if you read the packaging label, they all say that you should only use them episodically for short-term, maybe only a day or two. If you have the chronic long-term allergies, you really need to go with the prescription medications.
And after this rainfall that we've had, does the old wives' tale is heavy rain washes away the pollen? True or not?
Well, it might wash away the pollen temporarily, but as soon as those blooms start again after the rainfall, you're going to start being very uncomfortable again. So look for it to be a bad week this week.
And when do you think we'll see a break?
Hopefully we'll see a break sometime towards the end of spring, beginning of summer, but we have a long season ahead of us.
Long season. Well, thanks for that final thought. Dr. Kimberly Friedman, I want to thank so much for joining us with these important tips, as always. Thank you. Connie, over to you.
I think that was not anytime soon, Greg.
That's what I kind of got that feeling.
Yeah.